started like putting together this documentary back in June of last year or something like that, and it's just the more and more that he found about Saab and their quirky things, he was like, I need to talk about this.
I need to make more, right?
Yeah. You want to get up and just squeak the camera? Just actually, no. I'm gonna crop from here. We're good. Yeah. But yeah, regular car reviews, Saab story. I'm surprised he didn't call it a Saab story. Maybe that was just too generic, like too cheesy to call it. When the late and great Tony Swan, whom I raced with, and that's our Lemons team, he started that and everything. His last race, we called it like sort of a swan song.
Swan song.
It was like his last race.
I wish I could have met that guy.
Yeah, he was cool. Apparently, he was much more cantankerous earlier on in life, but by the time I met him, he was just like so old and dying of cancer that
he was a sweet man.
He was more chill. Yeah. It was cool though. We did one Lemons race out in Colorado, and he and his wife's much younger than he was, but still older.
Right.
And they were gonna trailer the car with a press ram from here out to Denver to do the race and everything. And I ended up going with them just to like be someone who's not elderly.
90 years old, right?
Yeah, driving. And it's a good thing I did, because we had a tire go out not too far from the track on our way back, and like had to change it on the side of the road there, and that just would not have been easy for them to do. Mary could have done it, but yeah, it was not would not have been easy. It was convenient for a spry 24 or something year old.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I didn't even race, and I didn't drive in the race, because I never drove with Tony. I ended up taking Tony's spot on the team as a driver, but I just went to help. I spent the first year or so with their team just doing like pit crew and stuff.
You guys had an E46, right?
Yes.
Coupe?
Sedan. No, we had a coupe back then. You're right. Yeah.
Switched to a Honda now, right?
Well,
or is it still the BMW?
No, the way it was is we have this 1991 Honda Prelude SI, and Tony bought that car from California like 15 years ago, and brought it back here to Michigan to race it in Lemons, and that has been their Lemons car for over a decade, and it's just beat to shit, like suspension bolts like coming out of the subframe and everything, because they do like 2 to 4 Lemons races a year for like 10 years, and those are long 18-hour races of just beating on this poor little Honda. And so it's got like 250,000 miles on it, but probably a good 10 to 20,000 of those are race miles.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, and it's got like, it's a newer different engine. It was like a junkyard engine we had to put in there, and so many things and stuff. But so that was just like a cheap beatery Lemonsy type car. And for Tony's last year of racing, TC Klein out of Columbus built this E46 and left the air conditioning in it, and just made it like an excellent car. And to be honest, like, it would have been penalized fairly heavily under normal circumstances, but because the Lemons organizers like knew Tony so well and liked him, and they knew it was Tony's last year, they kind of like let it slide, sort of thing, and didn't give us penalty laps and stuff, even though it was like a $10,000-$15,000 car. It's essentially like an E46 spec racer,
right?
But in Lemons. And the thing is, like, TC left the AC in there and everything like that, and Tony wouldn't even use it, because Tony's like, he wanted him to take it out because he wanted it to be as fast as possible.
Oh my god!
So the guy's like dying of heat stroke in the car. It was so bad that after the last Gingerman race, he didn't even know where he was and that he had like raced already. After his stint, we had to like pull him out of the car.
Oh god!
But yet his lap times while he was in it, right on pace. Yeah. Yep. So he was dedicated.
That's so cool.
But yeah, he wouldn't even use the air conditioning because he.
Did you use it? Oh, I guess you didn't drive.
No,
back
I
then.
didn't drive.
Did the other drivers use the AC?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's hot, man. You're in the race suit and everything. It feels great, but like you're willing to trade like 5% horsepower to just be comfortable for the 2 or 3 hour stint here in the car. Not Tony.
Yeah.
So it was very silly. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to what I believe is episode 28.
Is it?
27.
Hope I wasn't wrong.
28? I'll just edit. No, I won't. It's either 27 or 28. I just got back from Switzerland, so I don't know.
Charlie's been in Europe all week.
Yep.
The Topher's been in Texas.
Yep.
I've been here all by myself, holding down the fort.
And getting a haircut.
Yes.
Finally had time to do that.
Finally had time. Yeah, actually, no, for real. Like it was a nice chill week. One car, and I went and got a haircut, and I ran 4 times this week.
Wow.
Well, I guess technically yesterday didn't count because it was Monday. So I ran 3 times last week.
You're already up on one this week.
So yeah, nice. It's been a good, nice, chill week. I got like however many videos edited, probably 15 videos edited.
Wow. Cash in that Winding Road invoice.
I've been slinging them. I think 14 Winding Road videos.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you're even in here working today, considering I haven't paid you yet for last month.
Well, I haven't paid you either for garage, so it evens out.
Yeah, you did. You always pay me immediately. I feel like I'm sure.
Did I pay you?
You probably did.
Oh, I did pay you.
Yeah.
That's right. I paid you.
Yep.
Gloss over that.
I have not paid you because I haven't sat down and done any sort of billing. But it's only the 5th.
I'm just working for free. It's fine.
Yeah, essentially. Who knows? Well, you also have the login to the account, so you could always just like deposit to.
See how much. Yeah, right.
Right. Yes, welcome everyone. I was in Switzerland for our honeymoon and overall went well. Although if you are going to travel through Charles de Gaulle in Paris, I recommend you pack your important things in your carry-on because 3 out of our 4 bags got lost. Or at least...
Are they still lost?
No, so we...
Dude.
Well, kind of. One is. But
that's my biggest fear.
We checked 2 bags going from here to Geneva, and neither of them made it to Geneva.
Nice.
Yep. Fortunately, we packed a change of clothes and like essential toiletries in our carry-ons for that reason, in case your luggage gets lost. If you're traveling long distances, I always recommend doing
Daily Motor top tip.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. But yeah, we essentially landed and we're waiting, and I got a text message that pretty much said like, your bags didn't make it. And I was like, great.
Cool. Where are they?
Right. Yeah. Stuck in Paris. And I gave them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt on that one because Air France was also late on every single one of our flights. They don't seem too concerned with punctuality. So our trip from Detroit to Paris was late by like 45 minutes to an hour or so. And it was a very quick layover. It was essentially like get off that plane, get right back on the plane to Geneva. So I didn't super hold it against them that they weren't able to get the luggage from that plane onto the new plane and out. Okay, fair enough. We ended up getting that baggage after a day or so. Fast forward to flying home from Zurich through Paris back to Detroit. And we got in last night and one bag made it. The other bag did not. Now, I don't quite understand what they're doing, if it's the airline, if it's the airport, what the deal is, but there were roughly 50 to 100 people whose bags did not make it on that flight. So it's like, I don't like, that would be like if you ran a hospital and out of a 500 person day, like 100 of them just didn't get the treatment that they need. Yeah. Because it's
not acceptable.
Yeah. It's just like, or if you owned a sandwich shop and like some people just didn't get sandwiches.
Yeah. This is why I don't check bags. I have not checked a bag in probably 5 years.
Well, when you're traveling for a week, you typically, you just need, okay.
Fit everything in the carry-on.
Chris, top tip.
Don't check a bag. No, that's my top tip. Don't check a bag because unless you're going somewhere for like, I guess if you're going somewhere for a week, you should check a bag. But could you bring a this sized carry-on sort of on the international flight?
I probably could have made a carry-on work. I don't think Alissa could have.
I would have done it then.
Yeah. Alissa was very concerned about bringing her own hairdryer. So if
that is a thing. My mother always does that.
Yeah. Why? And she dried her hair a total of 1 time.
Don't they? Aren't there hair dryers at the hotel? There's always a hair dryer at a hotel.
Yeah.
If you're a girl and you're listening to the podcast,
which you're not, honest, but
if you know a girl, which comment down below or email us. Why do you do that?
Yes. Why do you need your hair dryer? I get that she has a nice hair dryer, but she might not get her hairdryer back now.
Oh, is it lost?
We still haven't gotten that bag.
You got your bag, though.
I got my bag, yes.
Oh.
But we haven't received her bag. So, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Alissa.
Yep. But either way, we had a wonderful honeymoon.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was an absolutely gorgeous trip. We were in Geneva and then some towns in between, Thun and Lucerne, and then made it into
That's the name of a Buick.
It is. And I'll tell you what, the Buick is not quite as pretty as the town.
Were there any Buick Lucernes in Lucerne?
I did not see any Buick Lucernes. Yep.
That's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
They should put one on the sign.
Yeah. No, fun fact, actually, every car we saw, there was a Buick Cascada. Every one.
Oh.
Yeah, that's just what they drive in Switzerland.
Well, they're all Vauxhall whatever over there, aren't they?
Vauxhall Cascadas.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, obviously very cool cars there as well.
Yeah.
I saw some Arteon wagons, which...
Charlie didn't send me any photos because he didn't want me to lose my mind. But you did send me a picture of a new Focus, I think it was?
Yes, I sent you a
Focus. And then
Focus
also
and
a Puma. Puma ST, or was it regular?
It's just a normal Puma.
Puma, okay.
Yeah, but the Ford Puma looks so good.
It's a pretty cool car. I mean, they will probably bring that here in replacement of the EcoSport, I would assume.
The only thing is the Puma probably has less interior space than the EcoSport, but still 100%.
People don't care as long as it sits high above the road. That's all they care about.
Let's see, Ford Puma.
You can have a stick shift in that. I'm sure that wouldn't come to America, but in Europe you can have a manual in your Puma.
You can have a Puma manual. Yeah, it's just such a neat looking car. It's
just like a Fiesta that took steroids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fiesta
that green ST is so cool.
Right. It's just, you see those and you're like, wow, that's a really cool car.
That's a sweet little thing.
Why can't we have that? Instead, we get the EcoSport. Yeah. So that was cool. What else did we see that was particularly neat? I saw 2 Ferraris, which was just kind of cool. That new model. The
SF90. Or the the F8 Tributo. I am horrible at Ferraris, so I don't know.
What's their new entry car?
Oh, the Roma.
I think it was a Roma.
The Roma, yeah.
It may have been a Roma. Yeah, Roma. Do they do a Roma convertible?
Nope, not yet. I'm sure they will at some point.
Yeah, this is probably a render or something.
Yeah, that is. They don't do it. The Roma just came out, so you have to give Ferrari a couple of years to make the Aperta.
Yeah, to figure out how to do that. Yep. That was cool. We saw a McLaren. I believe it was a 720S. It was on the mountain road.
We know about that car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was saw 2 C7 Vets, and they looked huge on the roads out there in the mountains. I mean, we were Alissa and I actually rented a motorcycle on our bonus day because not only did our luggage get lost, but one of our flights got canceled.
That's right.
Yeah, so
that's why you were a day late coming back.
Yes, I should take a step back and say that's the reason why this podcast is coming out late today, because Chris and I were going to record it yesterday on America's birthday, but Alissa and I were traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, on our bonus day, we rented a motorcycle, and I should give a quick shout out.
What sort of motorcycle was it?
It was a Honda CB500. So I'll first show you what it looked like. Actually, let's just do this. Hopefully I don't have any bad photos to be showing that'll pop up. I don't think I do. This is the bike.
It's green.
Yes, it's very much an entry-level bike, but I had a few options to choose from this rental company, and I wanted... there's no need to have like a big fast boy. They had a Kawasaki Z1000 that would have been a 4-cylinder with like 100-something horsepower or whatever.
It's scary, especially with Alissa on the back.
Exactly. This had like 50 horsepower.
That's such a cool photo. Alissa should put that somewhere.
Yeah, it's quite. This was us in this mountain pass in Switzerland.
Wow.
I think if I turn around, yeah, you can see. I mean, that's like glacial snow there. It was very high up, very, very just. I mean, literally amazing roads.
Beautiful.
The type you see where you're just like twisting and turning, climbing up this mountain.
So you had a good time on this Honda CB.
Yep, CB500
or whatever.
Yeah.
Were those people standing up on the?
No, I was trying to get an idea of where the train was heading, which is a good problem to have. But yeah, the bike was good. I wanted to give a quick shout out to the rental company. It was let me see.
Is this sponsored content?
It's not sponsored, but I want to give them a shout out nonetheless. Rent a Moto, Stefan Denick.
Did you tell him who you were?
Not exactly. I wasn't like, I'm a YouTuber. But I did tell him I would mention his site here. I think he just started like his own motorcycle rental company in Lucerne and just bought a few bikes. It would be essentially like if I just rented my bikes out from myself rather than like went through a company. It
Gotcha.
was pretty smart on him. And he has the Honda CB500F, 80 Swiss francs a day. He also has, he bought another CB500F. He's 2 of them now. A 390 Duke, which is actually the bike I really wanted to try because I've been considering getting one of either these or the Husqvarna that uses the same motor.
Gotcha.
And I really wanted to experience that, but it's literally rented the entire summer. Like someone just paid him to have it the whole time.
Wow. Okay then.
BMW S1000 RR.
That sounds like a race bike.
Oh yeah, super big fast boy bike. 142 kilowatts of performance, so whatever that is in American units.
What is a franc? Is it?
It's their own currency because they don't use the euro. It's essentially 1-to-1 to the dollar right now. It's a little bit more.
So you
than
paid
the
like
dollar,
$80 to go do a blast on that. That's very well worth it.
Right, and because this is a smaller engine and everything, the fuel economy was quite decent. I ended up getting like high 50s miles per gallon with ripping the piss out of it and Alissa on the back. That's a Harley, yes. Harley Davidson Fat Boy.
You can get those over in Europe, or did he import it?
No, you can get them in Europe. Saw quite a few Harleys, yeah. And people look just as douchey over there driving them as they do here.
Do they rev at lights and?
Yep, piss rev them, and they're louder than every other thing that's on the road and stuff. But anyway, if you're even considering going to Switzerland and you want not only a very fun and convenient way to get around, but also one of the cheapest ways to get around, because motorcycles are everywhere there in Europe. I mean, like so many bikes. So many people riding, and you can tell that people actually like pay attention for bikes over there rather than just drive over them as they do here in the States. But I highly recommend reaching out to these guys, Rent-A-Moto, Lucerne. Stefan literally, like, I called him in the morning that day, and he like came into town from his suburb house like that day, like within like an hour, and just delivered the bike there to us, like just let us ride and stuff. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, super cool guy, about our age or so, maybe a little bit older, and bike was great. Everything
looks like immaculate.
Yeah. Had like 8,000 kilometers on it, but well maintained. So
cool.
Yeah, shout out to him. This was literally where we like ate lunch one of the days out in the mountains.
What sort of food did you have over there?
All sorts, mostly like European type stuff. Didn't get like sushi. But
you were in Asia,
right? All good food, very very yummy stuff. There's the bike again. I have a lot of extra photos of the bike just because I wanted to give him some to post on his Instagram.
Sweet.
Some waterfalls and things. I mean,
looks like Switzerland.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the things you see on. I had to get photos for taking that.
Oh, there's your license, front and back. I want to edit that out.
Yeah, lots of good foods.
Aw.
This was our Airbnb. Like, that's the view from behind it.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So it almost looks tropical, which is interesting because just based on the wind currents that come off the Atlantic, the climate there is actually fairly warm comparatively. Like, it doesn't get as warm as it does here in Michigan, but it doesn't get nearly as cold either. So they can maintain nicer plants and things like palm trees and stuff. Yeah, so very neat.
I'm jealous.
I don't know if I necessarily recommend Switzerland as a vacation destination to people because it's quite expensive.
Oh, well.
But for something like a honeymoon where we literally budgeted for this trip and we're just going to spend cash and not worry about it, and it was worth it for that.
Awesome.
But I think if you wanted like a bang for your dollar sort of trip, don't do Switzerland. Even though it's beautiful, you could also go to Austria or like Italy and get essentially the same views and everything for just less money. Yeah, and then maybe your bags wouldn't get lost.
Maybe not.
But if you have to fly through Paris, they will 100% get lost.
They will get lost. Okay.
So tune in to the Daily Motor Podcast next week to see if Alissa gets her bag.
All right. Mm-hmm. You want to take bets on if she'll get it back or not?
Probably not. I'm just going to hope that it happens.
Okay.
Yeah. It should. I mean, yeah.
All right.
It's not a hard concept for them, you think. Just put
the bag on a plane ship it somewhere.
And get it here. Yeah. The downside is they want to like deliver it to our house, and I'm like, if you could at least just get it to the airport, like just call me and I'll come get it. I feel like
it's just another opportunity for it to get lost.
Exactly. Or damaged or just stolen. I mean,
or they put it on the van and then it goes to like a different warehouse and you can't access it. Like, I'd be the same way. I'd be like, just call me when it gets there and I'll come get
literally I'll walk out onto the tarmac and just take the bag.
Yeah.
15 minutes from the airport. Anyway, I wanted to open some Hot Wheels toys that you got.
So, I bought Charlie some Hot Wheels, 2 of his favorite segments. 4 of them are EVs, and 1 of them is a motorcycle.
Right, so let's go through one by one here. I assume this one caught your eye first.
It did.
Yep.
100%. It's the first one I saw.
This is an Audi RS e-tron GT, a car that we have had.
We had that car, and it was that color as well.
You're right.
It was gray.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw that, and I was like, oh, I'll get that for Charlie. And then there were a bunch of other EVs, and I was like, oh, okay.
This is an excellent car, the RS e-tron GT. I saw one. I don't know if it was an RS, but I saw one in Lucerne, and I was just like, oh, it's such a cool car.
It is.
Yeah. Very good car. Drove well.
I'm curious to drive the Taycan to see how either similar or different it is.
I'm also curious to drive a non-RS, like just a normal e-tron GT.
Oh, right. Or just the normal Audi e-tron, like the SUV thing.
Yeah. Their names for those are confusing because e-tron is both like the powertrain name, if you will, like for their electric cars, but it's also the model for some of them. Because there's like a Q4 e-tron as well.
Right. And then the RS e-tron, which is... But then there's just the e-tron also.
The e-tron, which is an SUV.
Yeah,
so quite confusing from any perspective. But yes, I am kind of bummed that Audi hasn't gotten us any of those yet. But we are getting a Q3 and an RS3 this summer, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah. Good Audi content.
So here is...
RS e-tron.
Next up, we have, I'm sure this caught your eye as well, the GMC Hummer EV.
Another vehicle we've driven on the channel.
And they were nice enough to not include the top. Because if I owned a Hummer, I would want to have the top off a lot.
You have to pay extra for that.
You have to pay extra for the top.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was another digression into motorcycle territory, but the folks over at Yummy Noob put out an interesting video recently about an electric motorcycle manufacturer called Zero. And the reason they made the video about them is Zero is doing a similar thing to Tesla and sort of BMW, where you have to pay to unlock features on your bike.
Oh, God.
And Yaminu was like ripping them apart for that because the bike literally comes equipped with heated grips, but you have to pay through the app.
Is it a subscription?
It's not a subscription, fortunately.
You just have to pay to unlock it.
And that was kind of their follow-up question is like, okay, could they remove this in the future? Like, subsequent owner or something, like do they have to also pay for the heated grips to work? Like, you own a bike with heated grips that you can't use.
Why don't you just pay a 14-year-old to hack it and put the heated grips on? Well,
that was kind of a follow-up question to myself is like, what's stopping people? Like, that can't be illegal, you'd hope, because you own this thing. Like, what is the concept of ownership, you know? Do you own the software?
That's so tough. Right.
And that's why they were like...
Such a shame that things are like that. I mean, the whole heat... Something like that, like why?
I know.
And
it's not a crazy price. It's $200, which if you were optioning that like in a build configurator, you'd be like, okay, do I want heated grips or not? I pay the $200, but like it should just have it then.
Is it cheaper for them to put it on every bike?
Probably.
And then, it must be.
Yeah.
But then why?
I know.
Capitalism, man.
And the other thing that's rough is that it's a very expensive bike to begin with. It's, for example...
It's always like that. It's always the more expensive vehicles.
Right.
Like, you'd never catch Hyundai doing something stupid like this.
And I get that, like, they have to offset the cost with the battery and everything. But this is a BMW S1000RR. Starts at something like 15 grand, I think. $18,000, $17,000, and there's probably some destination.
It's a lot of money for a motorcycle. This was a 2020,
but still, like, look at this bike. You can tell that that's a serious deal bike. Like, this is like 200 horsepower, like amazing BMW top tier sort of thing, and you're getting it for $20,000. I mean, it's a lot, but it's not too bad.
How much is that big metal flake color shift Harley looking BMW thing that you drove at Test Fest?
Like 20 or so, less. Okay. Yeah, right around there. So, I mean, top dog sort of.
Hold on. As shown, $24,000, $6,000 in options on a motorcycle. How do you even do that?
BMW.
Okay.
But so there's your perspective. As shown, 24, base price 17.
Okay, right, and that's like as serious as you can get.
Yeah, the Zero SRS,
which is electric?
The bike. Yes, which is the bike they were talking about, is about the same price. And you don't even get the heated grips included for that price.
Well, you do. You just can't use them.
Right. Yes. You have to pay an extra $200 from your app in order to get it. So starts at $20,000, but you throw in a rapid charger and the premium model, and all of a sudden you're at about the same price as that BMW.
It's the size of a small hatchback. Or size, price
of a small hatchback. Price. And it's not nearly as fast as that BMW. It's not going to ride nearly as well. It doesn't have all the features. And the BMW would have heated grips built into the price. So it's just kind of a weird, like, okay, if you are going to nickel and dime things, like, at least make it so that the base price was super cheap or something like that.
Right.
You know? It's just weird.
I don't understand.
Right. And Tesla does it too with, like, the acceleration boost you couldn't pay $2,000 for. Or they had a thing where you could pay for your heated seats to work in the back.
Oh, did they do heated seats? Mm-hmm. No excuse for Tesla then.
Right. Yeah. It's a weird thing. Anyway, Hummer. Yes.
Hummer EV. Let's see how it compares to the Cybertruck here.
Yes. Here's a Daily Motor comparison test.
Hummer EV versus Cybertruck. We should get a Hot Wheels track and see which one's faster.
Right. Yeah. Well, the Hummer certainly has more off-roady type. Well, no, they're actually pretty similar.
The Hummer is massive as a Hot Wheels also.
Which would you have of the two?
The Hummer.
Really?
Look at the skateboard in the back there. There's a skateboard in the back of it.
Ah, yes, because Hummer EV owners will skateboard.
Of course.
I think I would take the Cybertruck.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's perfect then, because then we could shoot a Comparo.
Well, yeah, you get your order in for your Hummer. I'll get my order in for my Cybertruck.
Well, see which one. Well, your Cybertruck doesn't even exist,
No,
so.
Next up, we have, going back to BMW bikes, a BMW R9T, R, and then the word 9, and then the letter T.
Is that a classic bike, or what is it?
No, it's what they call, it's a retro looking bike. So it's a cafe racer. It's essentially just the normal bike, but they put the big fairing on the front to make it look like a classic bike.
So you can still get one of those?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard the R9T is pretty cool. I've sat on one before, and it's pretty cool, and heard them. I think it's a Boxer 2 engine.
Interesting.
So 2 horizontally opposed
right.
cylinders.
It's kind of neat.
And but just like most BMW things, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Let's take it out of its wrapping here. Okay. Wheels spin. It's got some beefy tires on it too.
It's just like what sort of bike is hanging on the lamp?
I think this is a Ducati Scrambler.
Ah.
Similar-ish bike, yeah. So they would be in a similar segment.
Okay.
Kind of those people who want to look. It's more for the style than for the. Not that it would ride poorly, but
yeah.
Nice. Also lean it against the Hummer. And two left, we have the Tesla Roadster.
Yes, another hypothetical Tesla. We'll put it right next to the
hypothetical Cybertruck.
The other hypothetical vehicle.
I think they'll build both of these cars. I just don't think that the time frames are nearly because. Yeah. This is like a no-brainer sort of car. I think a lot of people would be interested in owning one.
Yeah.
If they can keep the price reasonable.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. This is actually remarkably light. So that must be how they plan on it being so fast. And very smooth underfloor. So that's probably both accurate.
Oh, it is very light.
Yeah.
Tesla Roadster.
I wonder
it's a cool-looking vehicle.
I wonder what you and I will drive first. A Roadster or
probably
a Lamborghini?
Oh, definitely a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess we'll get an Urus or something.
Yeah.
Very neat. I'd go for red though. I would not get my Roadster in silver.
I agree. Yeah. Red would be cool.
And then finishing out, we have a Lucid Air.
Yeah. So that's something that I really would like to drive.
Yeah, me too.
I keep seeing more and more. I feel like I read somewhere that the Lucid Air was the fastest production car at Goodwood recently.
Really?
Or it may have been the fastest EV actually.
Okay.
Or something.
I mean, it could be both.
Yeah, or both.
Yeah.
Did it in like 50 seconds or something.
Wow. Yeah, I like the idea of the Lucid because I like big, comfy luxury vehicles.
Same.
And also electric vehicles. I have the.
It's a good-looking car too.
My good friend's father ordered a Lucid. He should probably have it about now.
Oh.
Yeah, he
Can we film it?
Probably not.
Oh. Okay.
He's not like that sort of guy.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Fair
he might because he is excited about it. He owned an Audi A8.
Okay. Oh, all right.
And then because he's a big shot, like Bloomfield Hills, owns a company in Ann Arbor and like commutes from Bloomfield Hills to Ann Arbor every day, which for those of you who are unaware is about a 45-minute drive or so, mostly highway. And he had an A8 for a while, liked it a lot, very menacing looking. And then he got a Model S owned that for a long time, like 5 or 6 years. Very much liked it, but he was like, it's not a luxury car. I like it, but like he wanted something again like his Audi. So he sold the Tesla and kind of got a stopgap Polestar 2 and does not care for it.
Yeah, that's like going backwards. Yeah. Polestar 2 is not luxurious at all.
No. he kind of knew that. He didn't want another Tesla. He wanted something new, and he just ready for something different. Got that, held him over.
Should have gotten an EQS.
Well, it was before.
It was before that was a thing.
He got like a very early, like one of the first ones in Michigan, gotcha. Polestar 2s. And he said the moment his Lucid Air comes in, the Polestar 2 will be gone. And Lucid should provide him everything he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. But yeah, it'd be nice to try to get a Lucid. Maybe we can get one here. If not, then hopefully at least when we do our LA adventure, we can get one there.
I can ask my the guys down there that I know that have reviewed them.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your friend out in Peoria,
Sean.
Is his father looking into getting a Lucid?
No, he has a Plaid.
Yeah, but like, why wouldn't you get a Lucid?
He likes his Plaid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, I hope we get to experience the Plaid.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I can't make any guarantees because it's not Sean's car, but hopefully his dad's in a good mood and we can,
we can drive it.
Go rip the Plaid while we're down there.
Yep. Well, thank you for the.
You're welcome
for the decorations and extra cars.
Got to put the Audi in there. Yep. All of those are EVs except the motorcycle. Right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Lots of good EVs. Well, we had to balance out the V10 and the Turbo Flat 6.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of Turbo Flat 6, have I told you that, I know it's not a turbo, but speaking of Flat 6, I told you that we are one step closer to getting a GT3 loaner?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Manual, guards red.
Oh.
I know.
Don't get my hopes up if it isn't real.
Yeah. No, we had a positive email back from Porsche. We're looking at September.
Okay.
Obviously, we'd share it with Chris.
Well, right.
Yeah. But
if I could spend a day with it, that would be so good.
To this day, the Porsche 911 GT3 is the best car I've ever driven. So,
okay.
And that's including 720S.
Yeah. We've driven
some pretty awesome cars, but manual GT3. And it was a short drive, too. It was just from Detroit Metro to Ann Arbor, but just every shift and the sound, it just it was fantastic. So
I find it funny, and this is no shade at all. I think it's awesome that we get such cool Porsches, Turbo S and GT3 and the Cayman GTS 4-liter. We haven't gotten a Macan.
I know, and
it's so funny.
We had a whole email thread with Porsche about we should be getting Macans here in late spring, early summer, Macans and Cayennes, and we'll set you guys up. So like 3 weeks ago, I emailed her. I was like, continued the email thread and was like, cool,
they just don't have them here.
Let's can we do that? And haven't.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
I'll follow up
I won't argue. But I mean, if it's going to be a Macan or a GT3, then we'll take the GT3.
Yeah. Porsche, if you're listening.
Yeah, right.
Keep that in mind.
More of those.
Have the downshift guys gotten their Macan yet?
I believe it's this week.
Okay.
Yep. So they should have it. They're getting a Macan GTS.
Yeah, that'll be
which
cool.
is really their first Porsche loan. So I'm super happy for them.
Nice. Everyone
very,
go watch.
Very proud.
Watch Downshift.
Yeah. So Matt, shout out to Matt. I don't know. He probably doesn't listen to this, but he just experimented with his first POV video.
Oh.
He just recently quit his real job and he's full-time YouTube now. And
quick side note, it's funny that like so many people wait so much longer.
I know.
Than we have.
Just gotta dive in.
Yeah.
You
just gotta make it so you don't have an option.
Yeah, right, exactly. So he wanted something that he could fill the gaps, because obviously they get like one press car a week. Maybe they sometimes get 2 press cars a week. Mm-hmm. But he needed
shittier press cars because they're in Chicago.
Because they're in a worse location, right? So he needed something to fill in the gaps, and he texted me. He's like, "Hey, like, what do you like? I don't want to offend you guys, but like, I kind of want to like do some POV." I was like, "Dude, do it." Like plenty of other, it's not like you're stealing it. Like plenty of other people do POV, but I think that's perfect to fill in the gaps. And he calls it short shift.
Downshift,
short shift.
Okay. It's just like neat. A quick go out and drive.
A quick little POV test drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. What's the first car he did it on?
The Lightning.
Good car.
Yeah, because they just had a Lightning last week or 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
The Lightning's a vehicle I'm excited to just have living with, like to just get to drive more.
Yeah.
I don't think our videos are going to do like spectacular anything, mostly because of dilution.
Yeah,
there's just going to be so many other
Lightning videos. I put one on
there.
Winding Road last week.
And it just did okay, right?
It was 1 of 10, but I don't think that it like did extravagantly.
Okay. Yeah, and Winding Road has a good international audience, so you probably got
it was all people that don't get F-150s.
Right.
I've noticed that a lot of US only cars do really well because a lot of people overseas probably like to watch it.
Yes, I only saw 2 full-size pickup trucks when I was in Switzerland, and they were both Rams.
No. I would have never guessed that. I would have guessed probably would have guessed like Silverados.
Yep, both Rams.
Rams? How do you get a Ram over there?
The first one, it was literally like, it's this beautiful, scenic Switzerland mountain town. And all of a sudden we hear, and look over. It's a lifted, widened, bright orange Ram that says Ram on the side. 1500 comes flying into a roundabout.
Unbelievable. Right someone that's obsessed with America, clearly. Oh my goodness. I would be so pissed.
You'd be 100% triggered.
I'd be so pissed. Yeah. Like I'm trying to enjoy my holiday in Switzerland, and America is driving by.
Yep, the Rams.
They have a Trump. They have a Trump sticker on the back.
Unfortunately, no.
No.
Probably have been shot, but which is ironic. But yeah. Did you find the Winding Road video?
47,000 views in 9 days. So about normal.
It's no Toyota Corolla, but it's decent.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just put my mother's car up here.
Yeah, how's that doing so far? It's in the first 19
542 views so far.
Yeah, it's not a ton.
Oh, and restricted mode has hidden comments.
Yeah,
so let me see. Thanks.
Or whomever.
Whomever. I'm a sucker for Beamers. Don't care if the sensors don't work or if the engine light is always on. Oh, here's a good one. While you ride cars, I ride my pig every single day.
A rude thing to call his wife.
We won't say who that was. Not that I could pronounce his name anyway.
So you had a car this week?
Yes. So I lived with the 2023 Mazda CX-50 this week.
Did you accidentally call it a 22 at all in your reviews?
I did not.
Remarkable.
So it's funny you say that because I've been struggling with that in the couple of press trips that I've gone on. The Sequoia I call the 22, and luckily I caught it. And I reshot the beginning of the video at the end of the video and said 2023. And then the HRV, I somehow remembered. But it's just like I'm so on, like the past year is 2022. So luckily I 2023 for 650. At least for the review. I can't promise you for the fuel economy test now that I think about it. Which, speaking of the fuel economy test, the Ann Arbor ramp is closed for 94. For our fuel economy test loop. So I just went up 23 and started from Willis Road from that marathon.
Oh.
And went up and back. It was like 107 miles I did, a little bit far.
Did you go to Fenton?
Maybe. Okay. There was a spot where I should have turned around that would have been right about perfect, like 99 miles. But I kept going, and then there was like 3 more miles until the next exit, so I turned around there. But CX-50 got 32 mpg.
Okay, that's pretty.
Which is pretty good for a turbo all-wheel drive.
Turbo, yeah.
Well, all of them are all-wheel drive, but for the turbo car, just ran on regular fuel. They didn't.
Really, the turbo takes regular.
Yep, EPA tested on regular. Cool. It doesn't even say premium recommended in the filler in the fuel door. So ran regular gas the whole time.
It probably gets lower horsepower with regular, but as long as you can still do it
slightly, it's 220 something on regular and 250 something on premium, and it's like an extra 10 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah, it's the same as all their other.
Yeah, but I just ran it on regular because it saved me like $1 per gallon. So
that's how you should be driving your CX-50 on.
Right, anyway. I'm like I don't care about an extra 10 foot-pounds of torque in this SUV. I drove that car a lot this week. I put about 500 miles on it.
So would you have that or a CX-5?
A CX-5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I don't see the added benefit of the CX-50 other than I think it looks better. I think it looks awesome. And also it has a little bit more room in the back. It's about 6 inches longer than a CX-5. So you've got a little bit more room. It's more of a flat load surface in the back.
Mm-hmm. Which I can see the usefulness. I mean, it's kind of like a wagon. But
it's just one of those things where are you getting an Outback or an Outback Wilderness? Seriously. I mean, like you can get this powertrain in the CX-5, as far as I know. Mm-hmm. You get a CX-5 turbo, right? Mm-hmm. And it's really just one of those things where it's more cladding and it's I mean, it doesn't like sit any higher than a CX-5. In fact, it's 2 inches shorter than a CX-5, the CX-50. It's wider and longer, but it is shorter.
Shorter at the roof or shorter at the ground clearance?
The roof.
Okay.
I don't know about ground clearance, but it is a shorter car.
Okay.
And overall, I mean, the interior feels super premium, but so does the CX-5.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's definitely a cool car. It's just, it's one of those things where, like, how diluted do we need to make the SUV market? Like, how many of these SUVs do we need? It's just kind of becoming like, there's a lot of SUV. There's a lot of cars in that segment. Yeah. And I mean, that it's competing with the CX-5.
Right.
If you go on Car and Driver's website, they rank everything in that class, and the CX-5 is ranked 1 and the CX-50 is ranked 2.
There you go.
So it's like, either car, great. If you get a CX-50, you'll be super happy with it, other than the steering being very heavy. Yeah. But I got used to that in a couple of days.
Good.
So.
Yeah, I have not driven it. I drove one. I think I drove one like around the.
You drove one at Mama. Yeah, I drove one at Mama with Bev Braga. Shout out. And yeah, I was like, holy crap! Like I think I had actually just gotten out of a Volvo, which is like two extremes. Like Volvo steering is so light, and then you get into a CX-50, and it's like, is the power steering broken? But no, it was a good car. It was good to live with. It I did the dirt road test. I did the Starbucks test. All of the things. And it passed them? And it passed. Yeah, it was great. It was very comfortable. That 6-speed auto is just butter smooth. I had no misshifts or anything. Like, sure, it's not the most aggressive or fast transmission, but who cares for that car, you know?
The only thing I'm a bit disappointed in is no sort of hybridized option.
Yeah, Mazda's not really there yet with anything. They don't have any of that.
Yeah.
I think when they bring that inline 6 powertrain is when it's going to start to happen, like the CX-70 or whatever they're calling it.
Well, I have to imagine that the dealers are starting to feel the squeeze on that a little bit. I think the only thing they're probably being helped on is the fact that car inventory is so low right now that like they're people still probably selling out of just about everything they make.
Right.
But I'm sure there are people cross shopping right now, probably like someone like Alissa even, who would not consider the CX-5 or CX-50 compared to the RAV4 or the CR-V or anything just because there's no hybrid option. Yeah. And I don't even mean like fancy plug-in electric, anything like that.
Just no hybrid at all.
No hybrid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what? Escape, CR-V,
RAV4.
The Rogue doesn't have.
Rogue's no hybrid. Tucson, you can even get a plug-in in that.
Yeah,
but just regular hybrid. Kia, whatever the Kia is.
Santa Fe? No.
That's a Hyundai. Kia Sportage. Okay.
I went on the press report.
Literally drove it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the only thing. I wish you could get some sort of. You could get the CX-5 diesel for about all of 2 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They'd probably us rather not
cool
talk
thing
about that one. Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, it was a nice car to live with for a week. Broke necks. People were staring at this car all week.
I could believe it.
I was approached in the Kroger. Not at Kroger, but at Pack and Parcel in the big Kroger parking lot. And a gentleman approached me, and I was like, oh, God, this guy's probably like going to come ask me for something, or he's going to kill me. And he's like, Riley, run it down. He's like, that is a beautiful truck. What color is that? And I was like, oh, it's zircon sand metallic. And he was like, zircon sand. All right. Thank you so much. Beautiful. He's like, again, beautiful truck. And I was like, truck, thank you. But also, like, you gotta bring up so many compliments, and also obviously
was it this color?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a pretty unique color out in the sun. It's like a very pale, like green tan sort of thing.
Okay.
It's pretty unique to the CX-50. I don't know anyone else that does a color like that. It's kind of like Area 51, sort of, but it's metallic.
Okay.
But it's also a little darker, so I think it's a cool color.
It is a cool color.
But yeah, I had a ton of people staring at me in this car. Also, just because you don't see these yet. Right. Like, they're not really. Brand new. Yeah, I think they're just now hitting dealer lots, so you'll start to see them a little bit more.
What is zircon?
I don't know. I didn't look.
Fair enough.
It's the color of the Mazda.
They made up a word for it.
It's really just like an adventurized CX-5.
Right. Because it was impossible to adventure in a CX-5.
Yeah, right. It's like the CX-5 wilderness, essentially.
Right.
But it's less. I think it's less douchey than any Subaru.
Yeah. That's fair.
Like, would you rather be seen in this or any Subaru?
This.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
100%.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, cool. How's the sound system? Pretty decent
about
Bose?
a B.
Really?
Yeah, it's a Bose. Pretty good.
Okay.
I would say mid B tier.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go test it right after this. So
Cool.
We'll,
unless they come and take it.
Nope. Afternoon pickup.
You have afternoon. Cool.
Got to get that sound test.
Intelligent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Neat.
I'm predicting you give it a B, so we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be surprised because I think the last few Mazda Boses have been A's.
Really?
Yeah. Mazda 3. Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe if I get frustrated by the infotainment, then I'll knock it down to a B.
The infotainment is a little bit frustrating when you have Apple CarPlay going because you try and use the normal functions and it takes you to CarPlay, and also it's not touchscreen, so you have to scroll through. Like, using CarPlay with the knob is just really annoying. Like, if you're trying to change your song in Spotify, or if you want to like change your album or something in Spotify, it's like 20 clicks.
Exactly.
It's so obnoxious.
Can you touch it when you're stopped?
The screen? I don't know. I didn't try.
Okay, because older Mazda
touchscreen
systems you could touch while it was stopped.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
no, I'm not sure. That would make sense because you have to like lean to touch it.
Yep. And they like lock it out while you're moving.
Oh, okay.
But in the
I don't know
older
when I
Mazdas,
tried
like in the
touching
Miata
it.
and stuff, you can disable the lockout with like a system.
Okay.
Cool. Well, thank you for driving that while I was
Oh, you're
gone.
welcome.
Yeah.
No, it was great. It was a nice car to have for the week.
Would Emily
Yeah.
consider one?
I don't think it's. Here's the thing, okay? I bring this CX-50 home, and I like show Emily, I show my mother, and neither of them cared.
Really?
Like, Emily liked it as a car. Like, she's just like, oh, yeah, it's nice. But like, neither of them would give it a chance to like look at it and want to buy it.
That's the tough thing that Mazda has is they're trying to push themselves up market.
Yeah.
But Mazda, it'll take a generation or two for people not to just think of like a Prelude, like an older Protege or something like that, and just be like, oh, it's just some shitty Mazda 3 from like 2006.
Exactly. So I took this car out to my friend Callie, who I convinced into a CX-5. You're welcome, Mazda. She loves her CX-5. She's had it now for probably almost a year, I would say, maybe like 8 months or so. And when the CX-50 came out, she was like, oh my God, I have to see this new Mazda, because she came from a Subaru Forester. So this is like her like ideal car right here. Like, it's basically like a Subaruized Mazda.
Yeah.
And so I brought it over to her house, and she like was crawling all over it and loved it and was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And her husband is there like, you just got a new car. Like, you don't need this. But she was just like, looking at it just because she thought it was cool. But she also brought up that if it weren't for me, she would have never considered a Mazda because her stepdad growing up had a Mazda 3 and it was like a piece of crap.
Yeah.
She was like, it was like this crummy little stick shift, like plasticky, like horrible, like, I'm sure by our standards it wasn't horrible, but this little economy car, and that's what people think of as Mazda. And then she's like, and then when I went and test drove a CX-5, I was like, holy crap, this is like a really nice, luxurious car. And then she saw this and she was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, and to give people some context, Chris's girlfriend and mother are both in the market for a
car in this segment.
Crossover.
Yeah.
But they've been looking luxury. Genesis.
My mom
Lexus,
is going towards
Porsche.
Lexus and Emily's going towards Genesis.
And there's no reason not to consider one of these. Along with those. I mean, yeah.
It's so much cheaper. Literally fully spec'd out, it's like 40 grand with the turbo and every option. It's like 42 grand.
Don't get me wrong. Like, one of those full-on luxury cars are going to be a little bit quieter. They're going to feel a little bit more premium, but not like to the point where you shouldn't even consider this.
Yeah.
This should be like kind of your bottom rung.
Right.
Like you said, you could get a fully loaded one of these, probably heated and cooled seats and all this stuff, or like a mid-tier to base Lexus or Genesis.
Yeah.
And you'd still be paying more for the Lexus or Genesis.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. No one paid attention in my household to the car. In the outside world, people did. People loved it. But I a couple nights ago, I went and picked up my dad from the hospital where he was with my grandpa. It was at like 11 at night. And I pull up in this and he gets in and we're like halfway home and he's like looking around. He's like, what kind of car is this? What are we riding in right now? I was like, it's the car that's been in the driveway all week. He was like, oh, okay.
The color probably doesn't help because while it is pretty, it probably blends in a lot easier than like a soul red crystal sort of pop color.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was I going to say regarding that? Shoot. Oh well, Mazda CX-50.
Mm-hmm.
Decently good car.
Yeah, so look forward to my fuel economy test, which is in a different location. I'm a little bit frazzled and
whenever you shake that up, it just immediately everything else goes out the window.
Dude, it was so rough. So hopefully I can edit it together and have it be fine. But I like started it here and did my intro, and then cut to like being at the gas station. Because like there's nowhere over there to like really shoot an intro.
Well, and that's the tough thing that oftentimes when I'm talking to people about the fuel economy tests, they're like, oh, you should just do it here or there. They don't realize how many different considerations have gone into where I start. Yeah. Part of it's proximity to where we live and work. Yeah. But another part is having a station that is accessible enough. Like we've been using the Kroger lately, but the Shell was, you could almost like, I know you got your pump blocked a lot, but I literally had my pump blocked maybe like twice over 2 years of testing.
I think I had my pump blocked more at Shell than I have at Kroger, which is hilarious.
Right, because the Kroger is super busy, so I don't know how.
Well, that's why. At Kroger, people are in and out, like
that's true.
Super fast. Where at Shell, you'll have people park and like go inside and have diarrhea in the bathroom, like that one guy was.
But then you also have that giant lot that's right next to
which is super convenient to start in.
And it's directly off the highway.
Yes.
So it's all those things that came together to do that. Because like I'd love to use Costco, but there's no way you could use the Costco lot and get the same pump every time.
Costco's chaos.
Yep. And I'd love to use, like, I tried using a Marathon and a Speedway at the Rawsonville Road exit before. But there's no good lot. That whole
area is chaos,
It's chaos. There's no lot next to it to like film, and I always was worried about being murdered. So
well, there's that. There is that in that area.
Yeah.
Honestly, if we can find somewhere nearby that Willis Marathon, it's always empty. Mm-hmm. It's right by an entrance to 23, mm-hmm. and shoot up 23 and back. It's super smooth. There's less traffic than 94. Like the actual route, like the actual drive was great. I did it on Sunday mm-hmm. when I thought there'd be holiday traffic, and like there was a little, but I was like not held up by anyone.
No, the 23 route is actually pretty good, and there's fewer semi trucks.
Which helps. That could have actually been why it was better.
Yep, because I started out doing the 23 route before 94. Yeah. And at Car and Driver, we've done both. Okay. There's also less construction in general on the 23 than the 94. The downside to the Willis Road is it'd take me like 15 minutes.
It's far. It's further. Yeah, it's closer to my house. It's like 5 minutes from my house. So right. If I can find somewhere. I suppose I could always shoot it in like the high school, like my intro. I could shoot it at the high school or something.
There are places.
There's places where I could
pull off. There's a park just right down the street.
And there's a park
to the west.
Oh, there's a little park right there. Okay, yeah. So,
so
because I think that 94 West entrance is going to be closed until mid-August. Wow. So we're going to have quite a few fuel economy tests where we'll have to get creative.
There's that Marathon, but there's also a BP on the other side.
There is. That highway. Yep. So you could also use that. A little more chaotic though. The Marathon has less people at it, and the lot has like less clutter in it. Okay. If that makes sense.
No, yeah, that's good to know. So this week at Daily Motor, we have two cars.
We do.
Volkswagen Passat,
which I thought they stopped making, but here it comes.
And it is green.
Yeah, it's like the special edition green with the brown interior.
You remember what the green is called?
Nope. Just look up. I'm sure there's only one green. I was under the impression that the Passat we had last year was the last Passat I would ever drive, but this is...
Is this what it looks like?
That's probably the car.
Oh, Passat dead after 22. So you weren't totally wrong.
I wasn't totally wrong.
Special edition send-off. The 2022 model year will be the Passat's last, and a limited edition will celebrate the Chattanooga plant where the sedan has been built since 2011.
I can't believe they have one of these in the press fleet. What is the benefit?
Well, that's happened a few times with cars that they're being killed off or something, and they put one in the press fleet. It's just like, really? Why? But here it is, and it does look great. The other thing is they're probably going to keep making the Passat in other countries.
That's true. Well, that's good for us because Winding Road people watch all over the place.
Yes. Interesting. Well, it'll be
What's in the cup holders?
They're producing 615... Whoa, wait a minute. All right.
Hey?
There will be 1,973 units for the Passat Limited Edition. The specific number of units produced for each of the 4 color combos are meant to be meaningful. 411 will be sprayed in Aurora Red Metallic with a Titan Black interior. 411 was the production code for the Passat's predecessor. Why do you do this for a Passat? It's one thing, like Car and Driver says right here, you'd think this would be something for like a special edition McLaren. But who buying Passat? Like Alissa loves a Passat. She owned one. She's not going to know what the model code was.
This is for probably all of the engineers that have worked on Passats their whole life, and they're very sad.
You're right. That's a good point.
So they're went to the board meeting, slammed down all the paperwork, and they're like, "We're doing a special edition. You don't have a say. Here's how many we're building. We're doing it for the last year, and that's it."
423 units for the Chattanooga area code. We'll borrow the racing green metallic paint found on the Atlas.
That's what we're getting.
And the old B5 Passat, and we'll pair it with Morrow brown interior. So that's what we're getting. One of 423 cars.
That's a rare car.
And they're putting it in the press fleet. Keep that in mind when you're farting in that Morrow brown interior.
Yeah. I'll lift my ass out of the seat first.
There you go. In respect for the engineers.
In respect to the Passat engineers.
Pure white paint with Morrow brown interior will be found in 524, honoring the opening date of the Chattanooga factory on 5/24/2011. Lastly, Volkswagen will produce 615 in platinum gray metallic with a Titan black interior, which Volkswagen says stands for 6 generations of Passats in the U.S., 1 generation assembled in Chattanooga, 5 decades of Passat sales.
Okay.
That's so esoteric.
There you go.
That's how like Germans think. Oh, will the Passat be missed? Sedans are better than SUVs. I forgot they still sold it. I'll just select that for you.
I'm glad that it was more to the left there.
Yeah. It should be. I remember the Passat.
I don't love the Passat,
fine.
but it's fine. Yeah, it's a fine car.
How much do you want to bet that the whatever engineers had their hand in doing these special editions insisted that it has buttons on the steering wheel rather than the awful R design?
Oh, it probably has buttons. Yeah.
Yeah, that will make the car okay.
Yeah.
If it has the haptic controls. And
the one last year was an R design, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not good.
Right, because I remember we also got an Atlas last year, and it was a non-R design. It had the proper steering wheel.
I liked that car. I liked that car a lot more.
You liked it because it had buttons.
Yeah, and it was the Cross, which I thought was stupid because of the roofline, but it had so much room.
I realized I said Atlas, and I actually meant to say Arteon.
Oh, okay. The Arteon did not have buttons on the steering wheel. It was an R design. Mm-hmm.
Maybe the Passat. Did the Passat also not have buttons?
Did not. Actually,
the Passat did have buttons, and the Arteon
the Passat had buttons. The Arteon did not have buttons, and the Atlas Cross did have buttons. Yes.
And
there we go.
And the Taos also
had buttons
because it was cheaper.
What was annoying about the Taos? Oh, the door panels didn't match, and the DSG was clunky.
Door panels didn't match on the Taos either?
No.
So I know the Jetta they didn't. We had a lot of Volkswagens, come to think of it.
They better match on this thing. They do, I can tell.
The problem is with Volkswagens, they all blend together and they're all so boring that it's just like, why? Mm-hmm. Like, even though I think the Jetta GLI is a better car than the Civic, I would take the Civic.
I would take the Civic, yeah.
Yeah,
I like the Jetta GLI though. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I just wouldn't buy it.
Yeah. Though I would recommend it though to certain people that I think wouldn't love the Civic.
Right, that's fair.
Yeah.
I thought of you yesterday because I downloaded for the plane ride regular car reviews, most recent review, which is on the Toyota GR86.
Oh. Okay.
And while he was reviewing it, he said this car is so good.
Okay.
That I don't really like it. And he felt bad that he didn't love it. But he said it's literally it's so great in so many ways, but it would be better if it were worse.
Yes, a lot of cars are like that.
Yeah. And this is interesting. I wanted to send this to Chris at the Topher. The owner of the car that he was reviewing installed a linear throttle control.
Oh.
Apparently,
interesting.
With Subaru and Toyota's default throttle mapping, you can mash the gas and you don't actually get full power for like 2 seconds because it's smoothed out for her pleasure. And if you actually have linear throttle control, it's very snappy. It's like, whoa, like grabby, which your average, everyday, normal person doesn't appreciate. They like feeling the smoothness.
Yeah.
But we, as enthusiasts, would prefer it. Gives it more of a manic, like 1990s car feel. And he said with that throttle mapping installed on the car, it felt more like a lively, because you could actually switch it hot, from a controller and make it go from like stock all the way to like linear. And he said with it in linear mode, it was more of a manic feeling car. And he said that was awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the guy also put like an axle back exhaust or a cat back or something, and it kind of made it more lively. And of course, unplugged the sound actuator, which Chris did as well.
Which Chris did, yeah. And Chris also removed his clutch helper spring or whatever.
Yeah, and that probably helps it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that car is even in stock form so good. Yeah. But it was made better by making it worse.
I'm looking forward to spending time with one because we are getting one, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
in like a month.
Yep. Yeah, we got a few exciting cars coming up.
We do, actually. Yeah, I was looking at the schedule yesterday and I was excited, especially for the end of August. Audi RS3.
Yeah. I'm excited for
the Lexus UX.
No, actually. Not a bad car. It's going to be the same one I had down in Florida.
I am excited. I've never driven a UX. I think it's like the one Lexus I haven't driven.
The UX.
The UX.
No, I'm excited for next week, on my birthday week, that we will have the BMW iX.
Yes, which falls into the category of we're kind of glad that it's ugly because it's not boring.
Yes. Yeah. It's better because it's worse.
Yes.
Yep. Thank you, BMW, for making the car hideous. The other car we have this week is the Chevrolet Silverado with the refreshed interior.
High Country.
Yes.
What does that mean? Top trim.
Yeah.
Platinum. It's a platinum, basically.
It's platinum. It's a Denali.
Gotcha.
It's Chevy's version. Yeah, it should be very expensive, also very nice. And we had a 22 Silverado already, or maybe it was a CR actually, and people were upset that it wasn't the refreshed interior. So I asked Chevy, can we get one with refreshed? And here we go.
It was the red Sierra Duramax, which we towed my ML55 with.
Yes.
And it did it effortlessly.
We didn't tow your ML with the 2500?
Nope, it was the red 1500.
Yeah, you're right. It had the Dirty Max.
The 2500 we towed Keone's Porsche 944 with.
Oh yeah, you guys didn't. I didn't have a chance to.
You couldn't even tell there was a trailer back there.
Right.
Because, it was probably like 4,000 pounds total with the trailer and the car. So.
Yeah. Is there anything nifty or exciting we can do with this new Silverado? It probably has the 6.2 liter, which is cool.
Yeah.
We'll test that and everything. But
I mean, we could. I don't know. If you wanted to compare it to like some sort of F-150, we've got a couple we could drive, but
it's a bad idea actually.
Yeah, I mean, we could either drive a Platinum Lightning or we could drive my dad's, but my dad's is just an XLT, so I don't know if that would be really comparable. I could see if they have a gas Platinum on the used lot that we could.
Some dealer around here has probably got a Platinum.
Yeah.
We could score if we want to do that.
Yeah.
Limited is above Platinum, so we could always do a Limited.
Is it too. Now? Jesus.
Yeah, that's very confusing. It is. Limited is top.
Let me see. Let me see what our good friends at Gene Buttman Ford in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Let's see what they've got.
While you're doing that, I'm going to bring up our vehicle portal, and we'll take a look at that Silverado, and then I think we'll get wrapping up because
we've been going for a little bit.
It feels like we've been going for more than an hour.
Like 2 hours. Let's see. 17, 18, 20.
Oh, Chris, this has Super Cruise on it.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Is it blue? What is that? Oh, yeah, night shift blue.
Night shift. Working the night shift.
6.2, and it'll actually have a smooth 10-speed automatic because it's a GM.
Mm-hmm. Almost looks like no, it doesn't actually. Gosh, it's such an ugly truck.
You think so?
Yeah. I think it's so ugly. Look at this. This is like probably an $80,000 truck. Doesn't it look like just like a base work truck kind of?
Kind of a little.
Like, maybe the photos are just unflattering, but I've never appreciated the look. 22-inch wheels.
Great.
Watch out for those potholes, Chris.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Monroney here. Oh, only $72,000.
Oh,
it's actually not awful for a fully loaded truck like this.
Yeah.
Huh.
What else we have in the Navs portal?
Let's see all the things that it couldn't be equipped with. Rear heated seats.
Oh, those are the
thing.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you only get $50 back for not getting your rear heated seats.
It's unfortunate.
Front and rear park assist. Gosh, that's actually unfortunate to not have in a big full size truck like this.
Just no beepers.
Probably no beepers. Yeah. Super Cruise though. Yeah, that'll be cool to try out. We don't have much else in our navs list because we don't have much scheduled. Excuse me. Just this and the iX. And then I got to get on the horn with them after that to build us out.
Got to get on the horn.
Yep. Cool. Well, thank you all so much for listening. We will be back next week with a recap of our two fairly mundane cars.
Yeah.
And maybe a little Copart action or something.
Yeah. Well, today's Copart segment was replaced with the Hot Wheels segment.
Hot Wheels segment.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And we'll talk at you next week. We are Chris and Charlie with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.